Hello and welcome to today's Bitrix24 webinar, Next Level CRM. We offer a full range of services to help you with Bitrix24, starting off with pre-sales support, so we can help you to evaluate Bitrix, see if your requirements can be catered in the Bitrix24 system. We also offer implementation service, so we can set up the system to cater to your specific requirements. If you're interested in the self-hosted edition, we offer our own hosting service, and we can provide training and ongoing dedicated support to really help you get the most out of Bitrix24. Okay, so if you're new to Bitrix24, I think it's important just to cover what Bitrix24 actually is. So Bitrix24 is a collaboration suite of really well in excess now of 35 different types of tools that you can use to help you in managing your business. So there are over 10 million customers now that use Bitrix24. And specifically today, we're going to be looking at the CRM module. So we'll look specifically at the module. Okay, the system is available in two different editions. We have the Bitrix Cloud and the Bitrix Self-Hosted solution. And prices start from $49 per month for a cloud-based system and $2,990 for a self-hosted Business 50 license. Okay, so it's important to understand why you should use Bitrix24 for your CRM requirements. So, first of all, there is marketing automation. So there are a lot of automation processes that you can customize directly inside the system, from the leads all the way through to deals and closing your sales opportunities. We'll see how we can automatically create and capture leads directly in the system, so you can easily qualify your leads in a timely process. And then you can work your way through your own customized sales pipeline, so you can completely customize the stages that you progress your deals through. So the Bitrix CRM is very customizable to what your particular sales process would be. And then it allows you to build a 360-degree picture of your customer activity. So later on, we'll have a look at the different types of integrations that you can do. So for example, you can integrate, really work within the Bitrix CRM system. We'll then go through. Okay, so first of all, today we're going to look at how we can generate leads inside the system. So there's quite a few different ways, as you can see here, to be able to generate leads in the Bitrix24 CRM. So first of all, you can import leads manually. So this is a very common practice. So you can import a CSV of all of your leads and bulk upload that into the CRM system. You also have the ability to live chat, so we'll have a look at this shortly. So you can set up your own live chat system on your websites. If people then send messages on the live chat system, that can automatically create a brand new lead in your CRM. We also can generate leads from social networks, so it could be Facebook or Instagram, for example. So from there, if somebody sends you a chat message on the Facebook Messenger, for example, that could automatically trigger a new lead in the system. Probably the most popular is CRM forms. So we have a form builder within the CRM, which allows you to create your web forms, which can be embedded onto your website. So for example, you may have an inquiry form as an example. And when that form gets submitted, once the information on there gets submitted, you can then automatically create a brand new lead inside the CRM system. So that's a really useful feature that you could use. We also have telephony integration. So another option you have is to actually use the telephony integration to receive calls inside the CRM. And from triggering a call, then that could automatically create a new lead in the system. There is also the sites module. So the sites module allows you to build your own web landing pages. So this is really useful if you integrate this with the marketing module. You could send out a marketing campaign with a link to that site, and on that site then you could automatically maybe have a web form or a live chat tool which can then trigger a new lead in the system. So you can see here we can combine lots of these tools inside the platform to generate leads inside the CRM system. And you can also manually create a brand new lead in the system. Maybe you've just spoken to somebody, you want to manually create a lead, then you also have the ability there to manually. Okay, so let's just first of all have a look inside the system. Okay, and just to check if there are any questions in the meantime, please do add those into the question box in the YouTube channel, and we'll be able to go through those later on in the webinar. The contact center. Then here we can see some of those different tools that we've mentioned. So, for example, we can set up a live chat system directly in Bitrix24. So what we can do is, if I dip into our web page here, we can see that we have a live chat widget set up inside the system. So if I just close this for a second, you can see how that locates of our web page. So I could type in a message, maybe I have a question. Okay, so I've typed out my message here, and then I can come back into our Bitrix24 system, and I can see that message, so I can respond to that directly through the Bitrix24 portal. So maybe you have a customer service team who can then manage, and all of those conversations are routed to them inside your platform. So I can send a message back. Okay, so we can see I've responded there, and if we now go back into our live chat web page, we can see that conversation is in there. So I can now comment back with the customer service agent who can now answer my question. And on that live chat tool, we can automatically have that save as a brand new lead inside the system. So if I just click on here, if I go to the configure area, then what I can do is I can automatically have this generate a new lead inside the system. So if we go into here, you've got your different settings inside here, so you can configure all of the configurations inside here, and we can see we can automatically create a brand new lead inside the CRM. Okay, so that's one way. Another way is a really common way that a lot of clients use here is creating a form. Inside the Bitrix CRM, you have a web form designer tool, and this will allow you to create your own web forms directly inside the Bitrix CRM system. So if we just go out of here we can see a form, for example. So first of all, you can build the forms in Bitrix, and then you get your own code. So you can embed the form directly onto your own website. So you don't need to create the web page directly in Bitrix. You can simply create the form, take the code, and embed that code onto your web page. And then when somebody submits their details on a form, that can automate how many leads you're able to add in the system. Okay, but looking at now an overview of the system here. So first of all, you can see the different entities of the CRM system in the top menu here. So inside here, first of all, we have leads. So leads, we've mentioned quite a lot already, are your general inquiries. So inside here we can store all of our leads in the lead database. And as an administrator I can customize this database. And all of these are custom fields here, so you can capture as many custom fields as you require in the system. And what we do with leads is we qualify those inquiries here. So we can see here the different stages that we can progress a lead through. And those stages are completely customizable. So you could have as many or as few stages as you require. You can change the name, the colors. So it is completely customizable to what your lead qualification process would be. And if we just see here, this is the list view. We also have the Kanban display. And the Kanban display here is we can progress a lead through different stages like so. And inside the lead, you can store all of the information relevant to that particular lead in the system. So here on the left hand side, we can see all of the lead details. And what you can do is you can create custom fields to capture specific information. So maybe we want to add a file to store a document, for example. So it's a really nice tool here that we can create and capture as much information as we like. You can also create your own sections to store information in maybe specific tables inside here. And on the right hand side we have the activity stream. So inside here we mentioned earlier on about integrations such as email, for example. This then allows you to see all of those different communications and activities associated to this specific lead. So for example here we can see an email, and further down we have some notes about the lead. So you have a note section here to store notes. Maybe you want to add some documents to go with that comment, so we can store documents inside here as well. And then we can see the different types of activities we can run. So for example, we can create tasks, or we can send out an email. If you have the email integration, you can send an email directly through here and use email templates. So there's lots of different types of activity we can run here. And we can also automate activity. And this is based on the different stages that we have created for our leads. So here, for example, as soon as the lead comes in at the new lead stage, we're automatically sending them a thank you email. So if I click on this particular automation, we can see we're dynamically populating this with their lead's first name, and we're sending out a thank you email to them, thanking them for their inquiry. As we progress through here, we can create tasks for the responsible person. Maybe at a certain stage we change actually who is responsible for the lead. Maybe it goes to another person within the department, and so on. And at the top here we also have triggers. And a trigger can automatically update the stage that the lead is at. So maybe you send out an email to a lead, and if they click on a link maybe so that shows that they're starting to engage with us, then what we could do from there is we could automatically update that lead to maybe the looking good stage, because they clicked on that link, they're engaging, they're interested, and so that trigger can automatically update the stage that the lead is at. And within the lead section, you've also got a filtering tool, so you can filter down. So maybe we want to drill down on the leads, maybe based on who's responsible for certain leads, maybe what stages they're at. So you've got a multi-field filter tool here to drill down into any of those leads, like so. Okay, and once you have completed the lead, so hopefully now it's been a qualified lead in a system, what you can then do is you can convert that into a different entity. So for example, we could create a contact record, and also we could create a deal. And a deal is where you really focus on closing those sales opportunities. And inside deals you can create pipelines, and pipelines are a way of segmenting your sales into a specific category. So for example, here you can see that what we have done is we have actually created different geographical locations for how we could segment our sales. So that's then how we could then generate a deal. But before we go into deals, I want to show you the contact database, because what we then do is we can link a deal with our contacts and our companies. So here is the contact database. This is where we can store all of the contacts inside the CRM, and each contact has its own record page. So inside here we can see all of the details about that particular contact. So we can see Mark Moon is the manager of Techco. So we can associate a contact to companies, and you can associate them to multiple companies inside the CRM. Very similar in terms of the functionality, just like we saw in leads. So you can create your own custom fields, you can create sections to store information in certain areas. And on the right hand side, we've got that activity log, so we can see emails. If you integrate telephony, you can see calls. So we have all of that history associated to this contact in this page. So we mentioned at the start about having a 360-degree view of all of the communications and dialogue that we have with our contacts. You can see here how that starts to take place. And then we also have the company database. So inside here we can store all of the details about our companies. Again, we can store as many custom fields as we like. We can maybe have company types for searching through all of our companies. And really the key difference in the company database is we can associate multiple contacts to the company. So we can see here Mark Moon and Sam Smith are the contacts that are associated to the company called Techco. And from here, what we can then do is we can link those deals, so those sales opportunities. So these are the genuine sales opportunities that we want to work on. We can see inside the contact page we have a deal section. So inside here you can see all of the deals that your contacts or your companies are associated with. And we can see what stage each of those deals is at. So if we go into deals, we mentioned earlier on how you can have different pipelines. So here we have different pipelines based on geographical location. So in the UK pipeline here, we can see all of the deals that are currently being worked on. Now at the top, we can see the different stages that we are going to be progressing our deals through to try and close that sales opportunity. Now what's really nice inside deals is you can completely customize every single pipeline that you have. So here is the UK pipeline. We can see the stages that we've got to close the deal and the automation rules that we have set up. But say if I go into the USA pipeline, the stages are completely different, and so are the automation rules. So for every single pipeline that you create, it's very likely, maybe if you have different services as your pipelines, there very well be likely that you have different stages that you need to progress those deals through based on what pipeline it is. So you can set up those different stages and those customized processes for every single pipeline that you have. So if we just go into a deal, inside the deal we can connect our contacts and companies. So in this particular deal we have Mark Moon is associated. Inside we also have a product catalog inside the deal page. So what we can do is we can select the different products and services that we want to connect with this particular deal. And that then gives us a value for the deal inside here. And once you have that information, then what we can do is we can start to generate financial documents that are connected with that deal. So here, for example, we're going to create a quote. So we brought through that existing product. So we remove the one we just added there. And from here, what we can do is we can create documents. So Bitrix24 CRM has a document generator tool. So what you can do is you can upload your own templates. So you may have, for example, a quote template. It could have your branding and some of your information on there. And then what we can do is we can map the data from the CRM system onto your documents. So let's, for example, generate a new quote document inside here using the quote template tool. Okay, so we can see here it's generated that document. We've got our branding on here, some information. But then what we've done is we've pulled in that product information and the client. So you can see here how we have a personalized document for this particular person. And from here we could then send this out, for example, via email, or maybe what you want to do is generate a link. So there's different ways and we can then send this quote out to the clients. And just like you may have noticed at the top, we've got different stages. So this is quite a new feature that Bitrix have released. So just like with leads and deals, we've looked at how we can create different stages for those different entities. You can also do the same now on quotes and invoices. So let's say, for example, we've sent this quote out. So right now, we're currently waiting on the client. So we've sent it out, we're waiting for the client. But what we can then do is, for example, with automation rules, we can set up rules on those stages. So we've moved it to waiting on clients. But now what we're seeing here with this automation is in 2 days' time, if this quote is still at the waiting on client stage, we're going to be sending notification. So it reminds us, Bitrix is reminding us to get back in touch with the client to chase that quote to see if they're ready to move forward. So that's a great example of using automation rules to try and help you to close those sales opportunities as quickly as possible. So this is a really nice new feature that Bitrix24 have released. And that's available on quotes and on your invoices. And we can then see those different quotes and financial documents connected with the deal. Now obviously you may have lots of deals, so you don't want to have to go into every single deal to see what quotes are connected. So Bitrix has also a quote and an invoice database. So inside here we can see all of the quotes across the CRM system, and as you probably expect, you've got that filter tool. So again, it's a multi-field filter here, so you can drill down. Let's say I want to look at all of the quotes over a certain amount. I can drill down into all of that information. And it's the same for invoices. So inside here, I could go into any of those invoices, see what stage they're at, and open up that particular invoice. And all of that information is connected back to your contacts and companies. So here you can see I'm using the universal search tool. So it's a really useful tool that we've got here. So I could search, for example, on here I'm searching for a contact, and I can then see all of the different deals that this contact is associated with. So I could click on any of those deals and it will open me up to that particular deal inside the system. And if we just go back into the contact page, we also have the quote and the invoice sections here. So I can see all of the different quotes and the invoices that this client is connected with. And again, I can see what's been approved, what's connected, what's currently in progress. So through the deals, the quotes and the invoices, and also through the integrations of email and telephony, you can see now how we do have a full 360-degree view of all of the data, all of the communications, all of the sales that our client is associated with. So you could quickly go onto here, maybe if you're about to have a meeting with one of your clients, you could go into your Bitrix CRM, have a quick look on here to refresh, and you have all of that history ready for your next meeting. Okay, so that's a look there at the different entities inside the CRM system. So we've just had another question come through here. Am I able to send out SMS messages through the CRM? So that's It's a great question, and you are able to do this. So, what we have here inside the contact page is the SMS feature. So, what you need to do is to connect with an SMS provider. So, first of all, Bitrix does have a selection of SMS providers that you're able to connect with. Now, as a word of warning, you do need to check what each of these providers have in terms of functionality. A lot of these just do outbound SMS. So you can send your SMS message, you can type it out here. Okay, so I could send out that as an SMS, but it would just work as an outbound SMS. So that would save into here as an SMS message. Now, what we have here at Interface is we have built an integration with Twilio, so we can use a Twilio SMS number, and we can then have that work as a two-way integration on SMS. So you can send SMS messages out, and then any inbound SMS messages connected to your contact, those can then also be saved inside that contacts page. So you have full history of any SMS communication. So that's a really nice feature that we have built here at Interface. If that is of interest to you, if you do want two-way SMS integration, please do get in contact. I will add our address details at the end. That's sales@interface.com. Now, just to add to the SMS question that we've had, I just want to go into both leads and deals, because what you can also do is use automation rules to send out SMS messages. So it could be, for example, at maybe a certain step of your sales process. Maybe you want to send one of your clients an SMS message. So you can see here we've got that automation set up. So here I could send templates, and I can dynamically populate the SMS. Okay. Okay, so what we've got here is a template. So at a certain stage of the process here, we're going to automatically send out this SMS message to the contact associated to the deal, trying to arrange a meeting. So we can see here, that's a really useful tool to try and set up that meeting, to channel and progress that sales opportunity as quickly as possible. So if you do want to integrate SMS, there's not just the ability to manually send an SMS, we can also automate the creation using the automation rules inside leads and deals. Okay, so now let's go through a case study. So we're going to actually go through from the start point of actually creating a new lead in the system and progress that through to create activities and then convert this into a deal, and then hopefully close that deal with the generating of a brand new sale, and we'll see how that all connects in the CRM system. Okay, so let's go back into the CRM. Okay, so what we're going to do here, we mentioned at the start how there's lots of different ways you can generate leads in the CRM. So that was from bulk upload to manually creating a lead. We mentioned some of the ways you could automate the creation through live chat, for example. The way I'm going to do this today is using a web form. So we mentioned how that's a really popular tool that a lot of our customers use. So you can embed a form onto your website. So very common is an inquiry form, like we've got here, for example. So people maybe have questions, maybe interested in your services. They can fill in their details, and that can then automatically create a brand new lead inside your CRM system. Okay, so let's just type in our details. Now on a form you can make fields mandatory if you like, so there may be specific information you want the person to enter before the form can be authorized and submitted. Okay, so we've just submitted that form, so that's now been populated. And what we can do is if we go into our CRM system, we can see now 12 seconds ago that we have had a brand new lead created inside the CRM system. Okay, so it's brought through all of the information inside here. You may have some certain fields, maybe you want to capture some more information, and we can see automatically now, using those automation rules that we mentioned earlier on, we've automatically sent out a thank you email to that inquirer. So that person now has received a personalized email thanking them for their inquiry. So it's a great example here to show that automation taking place. You can now, it stops your sales team from having to do manual activity. So that's going to save you time in the long run. And that time can then be used on more beneficial time or resources for your team to close more sales opportunities. So you can see how automations can be really powerful already. Okay, so inside here, maybe I'm going to schedule a call and a meeting, so I'm going to progress to the next step. It's now created a task for me, so I need to set up a meeting with this prospect. So I'm going to finish that task. I'm going to say I've set up that meeting, and now I'm going to make some notes about what we discussed in the meeting. Okay, so Sam is interested in purchasing from our UK office, so I'm going to save that inside as a note. And what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to pin that to the top. So anyone that comes into this page, they can see really any critical information. It's at the top here, so that's right there. Easy access for our team to access, okay? Okay, and then from here, I'm just going to check back in. So I've got a task. So I'm just going to actually send a manual email at this stage just to get back in touch with Sam. Okay, so I'm just going to finish this email, so I'm going to send that out directly through the lead page here. And let's just actually, we could use automation actually to automatically update the lead here. So the lead name we could actually have based on the actual first and last name of the lead. So I'll just update that there. Okay, so we've sent that email out and we can see we sent that out manually and that's now been added into here. And so I'm going to complete this particular task as well. And just to mention, in terms of your tasks here, you can record the amount of time that you spend on those tasks. So inside here, maybe the manager wants to see how much time your sales reps are spending on each task. That can all be saved into here. And you can also add notes and mention people on any particular tasks as well. Okay, so let's save that information and finish the task. So Sam's happy now to move forward. So I'm actually going to complete this lead. I'm going to create a contact. So we're going to save Sam Campson as a brand new contact in our contact database. And we're also going to generate a new deal. So Sam mentioned that they're interested in purchasing from our UK office. So it's important here to make sure we select the correct pipeline. So I'm going to add this as a brand new deal into the UK office for them to deal with. Okay, and then based on that, what you may want to do is maybe it goes to a certain person who's responsible for that particular deal. So right now, Jim is responsible for this deal. So it's created the contact Sam in the system. So I could click on that record and that would now automatically open up Sam's contact page. And we can see all of the history from all of that interaction when that lead, when it was a lead. So all of that's information from the lead page. You don't lose that data when you convert it into a new entity in the system. It's all saved inside here, all of that history. Okay, so now we've got the deal created inside here. So we've got a call scheduled inside here automatically. So we've automatically scheduled activity for the sales team. So we need to discuss this call. So, okay, so I've had that call. Now I've mentioned about telephony. If you integrate telephony into the system, you could actually make that call directly from this lead page. So we could click on this button and the call could be recorded as well. So you could have that call saved inside the system here. So I'm going to say I've had that call and I'm just going to make some more notes about that particular call that I had. Okay, so we're just going to update that in the system. So we're going to prepare the survey now for that new subscription. So we need to do some checks. So, okay, that's created a new task in the system here. So again, all of the information on that particular task, it can be saved inside here. I can start the time tracker and record any information. Now at the same time, maybe I want to just follow up and maybe I want to schedule a meeting just to go through the different types of subscription services. Okay, so I'm going to schedule that meeting for tomorrow. I can see my availability, so this is looking at all of the activity in my calendar, so I can see the red marks where I'm currently blocked off on other activities. So I'm going to save that in the system here. Okay, so let's say I've completed the meeting. I know what subscriptions they're now interested in, and I can complete this task because we've completed this survey. Okay, so let's go to sent. So again, as I mentioned, you can customize these stages. So that could be maybe instead of report, it could be a quote, for example. And inside here, now I'm going to add the different products that Sam says they're interested in after the meeting that I had with him. So I'm going to add that information into here. And now I'm going to generate a quote based on the product information that we have added. Okay, so again, we've got the different stages for the quotes. And from here, I'm going to generate a document using that document generator tool we mentioned earlier on. Okay, so brilliant. It's brought through the quotes. It's got the product information. The client is there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to send this to Sam via an email. Okay, so we've got that email there. I'm just going to change the subject. So you can use templates as well, by the way. So if you don't want to type out a manual email, you can use templates as well. So you may have a quote template, for example. And I'm going to send this out to Sam. Okay, so they've come back to us and they're happy with the quote. So we're going to approve that quote inside the system here. And from there, we can then generate an invoice. So that's really the last step of the financial document. We can pull through all of that information. And again, you can then generate your invoices inside here like so. So let's say currently we're just on hold waiting for that to be confirmed. And if we go back into the deal, we can see all of that activity is associated into here. So let's see all the quotes. The quote was approved, and we can see here the invoice as well, and we can see what stage the invoice is at. Now, if we go into the contact page, all of that is then integrated into the contact page as well. So we can see all of the activity. So as I mentioned, the quotes email that we sent out, that's saved here inside the contacts email. We can see the deal that Sam's connected with. We can see the quotes and the invoices. So let's say that's been marked as paid. I don't need to go back into the deal. I can mark that as completed directly inside the contact page like so. Okay, and then we're going to briefly in a second look at reporting. Then we could go into the invoice database here, and we could see all of the invoices that have been paid. So all of that data is connected to the invoice database as well. Okay, so that's a case study there to progress from going from a lead through to the different stages, qualifying, converting into a specific deal in a pipeline, and then generating the different financial documents such as quotes and invoices to complete that sale. Okay, now moving on, really the last aspect of the webinar today is to look at the reporting tools that are available inside Bitrix24. So we've seen that there's a lot of data inside here, and what you can do inside the CRM system is you can build reports in lots of different areas of the system. Okay, so first of all, if we just go back into deals, then what you're able to do is you should really take advantage of the filtering tools. So inside here, we may just want to look at all of the one deal, for example, so we can see all of that information. And if we use the list view, then we can be really flexible here. So what I might want to do is look at all of the deals that are in progress. So I can see all of those, and I can customize here how this information is laid out, what fields I would like to show, and then I can export this data out of the system. So that's really one way of using the data for reporting purposes. The second way is using the CRM analytics module. So what this will do is it will capture all of the data from your CRM, and it allows you to build your own dashboards. So for example here, we can see how well our team have converted leads. So from the initial inquiry through to converting into a deal in the system. And it may be, for example, you may want to build dashboards based on all of your different pipelines, for example. So inside here I can build pipeline. So here is the UK office pipeline. So I can start to build dashboards of reports based on that particular pipeline. So if you do have ways of categorizing your sales opportunities, I would recommend it, because you can then build your own dashboards for every single pipeline inside the system. So here you can now start to see how we can design our own dashboards in the system. And the third way is using the reporting wizard. So inside here what we can do is we can build our very own report from scratch, essentially. So first of all, I can select the area from the CRM I want to report on, and then I can give the report a name and a description. I can choose the time period for reporting. So for example, maybe I want to set a date range, and then I can select what fields I want to display in the report. So again, this includes all of the custom fields that you've created, so everything is connected here. I can then select a filter, so maybe I want to filter maybe on certain pipelines, for example. And then you may also want to add some visualization to the report. So I can select different types of charts that I could create in the system here. And this report, it is accessible to myself, but what I can also do is I can then decide if I want to share it with certain people inside the system as well. Now I mentioned as well about the different tools that we can integrate from the contact center. If you're using some of the tools such as live chat, then there are also additional statistics in the contact center module. So for example, here we can see the number of sessions and inquiries for a certain time period. So we're currently looking at this month. You can see the average reply time. We can see when we're busiest based on those different sessions. So that's really useful for actually allocating staff for certain time periods of the day. So you can see here, I guess what the key thing I'm trying to get across is there isn't just one area for reporting in Bitrix CRM. There's lots of different areas where you can build a variety of reports for your reporting requirements. Okay, so there's no more questions, so we'll just cover here the differences here between the cloud and the self-hosted system. So both systems include leads, deals, invoicing and reporting. If you are using a cloud edition, just check the actual type of cloud system you're using. With the professional cloud, you are unlimited, but on some of the lower cloud packages, you are limited to the number of, say, leads and deals that you're able to store. Both include custom record layouts, and you can run automations on the different systems. With the self-hosted, it's possible to be more flexible, so you can use the source code to actually build more advanced integrations, for example, maybe with other systems. So if you wanted to send lead or deal information to another platform, then that would be possible using a self-hosted system with some integration work. Okay, so in today's Next Level CRM Bitrix24 webinar, we've looked at how we can use different tools to generate leads, such as using CRM marketing and web forms and live chats. We looked at how we can create our own stages to really personalize the CRM for leads and deals, and how we can use the power of automation to really not just streamline your sales process, but help you to close those sales inquiries in an efficient manner. And that saves you time to help you to work on more sales in the future. We've looked at the different ways we can communicate through multiple channels such as email, SMS and telephony. And that really gives us a full 360-degree view of all of the communications with our customers. And then we've looked at the different ways we can use forecasting and reporting tools in the Bitrix CRM. Okay, so here are a selection of the up and coming webinars that we have. We're here at 11 AM Eastern Time every Tuesday. If you have any questions, or if you would like to maybe set up a call to discuss anything that we've gone through today, please contact sales@intraface.com and we'll be happy to arrange a call with you. Thank you for your time today. I hope you found the Bitrix24 Next Level CRM useful, and I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. Bye for now.